Well, I learned that when you're not in your studio, sometimes you got to go to your neighbor and ask them to put their barking dogs inside. But today, we're going to talk about coping with the coronavirus. My friend Chet is a practicing clinical psychologist, and he's also teaching a philosophy group. And he's considered what is a practical response to the coronavirus. And he wrote this: "There's no need to reinvent the wheel. Humankind has been through worse situations than this and have always found ways not only to survive but to thrive within adversity. Part of coping is to get perspective. And to be quite honest, and note this, for the vast majority of the population, the coronavirus is not a death sentence." Now, we're still in uncharted waters, and even our most revered epidemiologists and their models that they're using have significantly overestimated the number of deaths from the virus. And that's good news. It's still a serious health threat for many of us, but our reactions can actually prove more destructive. So let's talk about that. Determining our mindset or philosophy in which we're going to meet their daily challenges is critical. Now, for me, one outside of my own personal faith is Stoicism. And one of the first recognized Stoic philosophers is Epictetus. And how could that man, who grew up with the injustice and the hardship of being a Greek slave, become one of civilization's greatest philosophers? Well, he had taught himself how to manage his thinking and his actions during the most difficult times. He wrote this: "Regardless of what's going on around you, make the best of what is in your power and take the rest as it occurs." Now, you could argue that those words were actually penned for such a time as this, but what is a philosophy, a religion, or any belief for that matter really worth unless it's translated into action? Those actions could be taking the time to investigate how to protect your small business, being proactive, learning how to leverage technology so you can remotely engage and close more reverse mortgage loans. We have a webinar on that. Or checking on the welfare of your elderly neighbors. Carefully consider and judge each piece of information that you're hearing from the media as well. Every time you hear them say, "Experts say this," ask yourself, one, who are those experts? And two, investigate further. Healthy skepticism is more important today than ever before. I'm probably going to be joining you from my backyard for at least a couple more weeks. But again, thank you so much for joining us. And don't forget, we do have an upcoming webinar on how you can leverage technology. We have actually 3 sessions coming up, and that registration should be in your inbox. If it's not, email info@Reverse Focus and we'll get that to you straight away. Thanks again for watching, and have a great weekend.